BlossoM looks to be a tiny step above.
Yep,
like one little baby step.
But that started from the draft, as I said before. And Raven actually wanted to point out that DeYoung has been doing a great job not getting picked off from the beginning, soaking all that damage. I think it's a lot more of him working with his teammates to focus on one target, which they have tried, but it was just not enough damage because they started losing from the draft.
You and I talked about this last week. Well, we feel like DeYoung's Muradin is way better than his ETC, and it really showed in that last game. And it was kind of the crux of what they were trying to do because the Abathur clones were not on Greymane, but were on Muradin instead. And Hamlin played a great Muradin, or Greymane. I'm like, well, Fury, they played like a great Murky in that game. All right, we're going into Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's BlossoM's map pick as they won the first map.
Feel like it's about time for NMX to pick up that Li Ming or some other mage or damages instead of going on Abathur. They did go into a choke, which was forced to make a choice. But this time with that first ban, I think they should be the one forcing BlossoM to make uncomfortable choices.
Well, I think just going straight into, I was gonna say Rag, but I feel like it's not a super strong first pick here. I'm gonna say going straight into a strong tank or a Tychus here would have been what I would like.
By the way, it is Spider Queens.
Yes.
Map number 2.
Yep. So it's BlossoM's map choice. I know we don't have the English up there for you guys, so forgive us for that. So you guys got to be diligent in the Twitch chat, telling people about that if we forget to mention it or mention it only once, and some new people are coming in, they don't know. So no, not everybody in the world can speak Korean like us, G-Clef.
I can.
Yeah,
yeah,
not everybody out there.
Yeah, but it is Spider Queen, and this is a map we may see something else like Zul or Nazebo. No Murky yet, but we can have some. They have some other options to put in at the last moment.
Zul would not be a horrific choice here. In fact, I've really been hoping to see more Zul. I like what we've seen from Misfits already in Europe using Zul. I think he's super underrated, and he will come back in the meta. For some reason, a lot of people are thinking about damage a lot right now instead of utility in terms of map pushing and like team fighting. And with what Ragnaros provides, he's like super highly prioritized as a melee right now. But I do feel like we will see the return of Zul. We will see the return of these pushing heroes. Nazebo is also quite strong right now. So I'm looking forward to those times. We see Gul'dan picked up here. Again, Muradin is the choice. And I feel like Raven starts to realize now that DeYoung is just better on this hero, and they're going to take him instead. Gul'dan brings great wave clear to the table and solid damage. And this time, Raven does not get choked out in any regard.
Yep, I think picking Gul'dan before the second ban phase was the smartest choice, especially when they have a specific role and specific hero pool that a player has. And if we know it, the players know it, Team BlossoM with the brain whiz, he has to know what's going on. So they're gonna go towards that Vala. Vala Tastar is still available, as Tastar is, as you mentioned in game number 1 draft. It's not that Tastar got weaker or so. It's more of Vala that got weaker, who doesn't need Aria. Aria also is very squishy. So we're losing on that like low health hero DPS and also supports.
Yeah, Zarya is the new go-to partner for Vala in general. I think an ETC ban here would be literally perfect, and there it is. I mean, this is one of those moments in draft where there actually is wrong choices. Like, ETC is the absolute correct choice here, as now BlossoM is forced to use another non-meta, or at least non-high meta tank. Like, if they use Johanna here, it's pretty weak into, for the time being, really an ability power damage comp with Gul'dan, and Raven could later pick up Falstad. So, strong ban there with the removal of Zarya. They're going to go with Diablo instead, which is not a shocker.
For a second, I thought it was Murky.
Almost. Diablo's a big Murky fan. That's why he wears the Murky suit. He's, you know...
He's waiting for that new patch to come up, yes.
You know, like, when you go to BlizzCon, right, you see, like, a lot of cosplayers that, like, look really good, right? This is Diablo's Murky cosplay, okay?
Perfect.
It's not that good, but, you know, like... He's like the like 14-year-old Comic Con thinks he looks like Edward Elric cosplays level. Like, you know, he's like not that great at it, but he's definitely He's trying his best, okay? He's got the anglerfish going on. Murky doesn't have that. That's his own style.
Well, fooled me for a second. Yes, that is pretty good. And Wiz on Thrall, Earthquake has been nerfed to the slow is nerfed, and we saw that nerf in game number 1, but that was enough for Wiz on that Thrall to have a strong laning phase, and that helped them win the game number 1. And
ooh,
good pick.
Medivh, and is it going to be Rhaegar again? Yes, it is. This is a pretty interesting composition. It's going to be pretty strong against Diablo with Medivh's ability to shield anyone who ends up getting caught by him. Well, when the shield wears off, there's a lot of CC. Imagine a feral wolf, or a spirit wolf it is, I believe in this.
Or proxy wolf.
A proxy wolf. It's like feral wolf is like the Hearthstone card. Imagine a wolf root into a Malfurion route, and then when you think you're fine, then Diablo comes in and grabs you and pushes you into a wall. There's a lot of CC on BlossoM's side.
Yeah, and also when Diablo makes that mistakes to actually charge in and not get out safely, that will be the chance of Raven. And here comes Nazeebo!
Look, I was saying it, man. I think this is a great map for him. Europe thinks so too. We've seen Nazeebo used a lot on maps that go longer. Historically speaking, in Europe, and I've cast a lot of Europe versus Europe games, this is the map that goes the longest, and it does in Korea too. So that means he gets the most out of his scaling power. He has strong pushing power as well, which is super valuable on this map. They lost ETC, but they got the Naz. We're going into game number 2 for Tomb of the Spider Queen. BlossoM versus Raven here at HGC Korea. In blue, it is Team BlossoM. Scarlet on Malfurion, Dudu on Tychus, Wiz on Thrall, Judy on Diablo, and No Chat on Nazeebo.
In red, Raven, Joju on Rhaegar, Hamlin on Gul'dan, NMX on Medivh, Diong on Muradin, and H82 on Ragnaros.
Okay, tiny map, big game time.
big game time? Okay.
I don't really know where I was going with that one, but I mean, look, games along here. The map is small. You rotate a lot.
That is
map
true.
Map objective's pretty weak. It easily cleared, so, and even though its scaling was improved, like in early 2016 or either late 2015, one of the two, I mean, that was a long time ago, but still, the games go pretty long here.
So, and ETC has been banned, as neither side took ETC. This will... Without ETC, there will be more of a rotation for three-man rotation, even four-man rotation of both teams going around the map, trying to look for picks. And Medivh will be the key, especially when there's a channeling for the turn-in. Medivh will be there every single time to cancel that.
This is a great map for his Master's Touch as well. So that's something that is going to come into effect. Keep an eye on whether he dies or not, basically. Because we won't really be able to tell you guys. You can probably tell visually how much damage he's doing if he's got his quest or not, but there's no way to actually know that in our current UI. But whether he dies or not early on, once he starts that talent, that quest is important. We see a Fell build from Gul'dan instead of Echoed Corruption at level 1, which generally speaking, we see this on comps that are designed to siege and push, rather than go for that late game team fight damage, so that's what Raven is prioritizing here.
So this is the thing, if Diablo cannot actually catch one when he just charges in, he can be the one to actually get picked off. And that was actually very close. Judy has to be careful, especially against the Medivh who can protect at the right moment.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of regret Diablo charge-ins we've seen in HGC Korea already. You got to be careful, because once you go in, there's no getting out.
Yep, there is no getting out like ETC would do with Harsh Light 8 later.
Not until he's got Cleanse at least on Malfurion level 7. And he's like maybe sometimes going to get out.
And Joju's actually going for the secret cam at the bottom, and BlossoM has no idea at the moment that this is happening.
It's a secret wolf mission down there. He went wolf run again, by the way. He's coming back.
Yeah, wolf run is very important, especially in this map where the lanes are so close together. It's easier to gank, and Rhaegar actually does quite a bit of damage too.
I mean, Nasong, who's probably arguably the best Rhaegar in this tournament right now, has been pretty consistently going Lightning Bond or the Totem Radius. But finally, we're starting to see Wolf Run make a comeback. And I'm not just saying that because I'm Wolf, but like I think it's a pretty good build. It just pairs so well with Feral Heart so that you don't have to Hearth Home as often. You have more mana, you have more healing. You don't never really need to heal yourself. You're just going to passively heal up as you rotate between the lanes.
Yeah, that sounds like Lucio.
Yeah! Can't wait for him to break it down, man.
Movement speed increase, healing yourself. You don't really need to press too much buttons.
Yeah, it's pretty alright.
Even better. Yes.
Does a lot of damage, too. I out-damaged my Vala on my team today when I was playing Lucio.
Great job.
I may have said some choice words to the Vala in the chat afterwards when we lost, but I mean, I did it.
And Raven just decided to just poke. BlossoM has a lot of gems, not enough for the summons yet, but they actually right now they do, and it is Rodin that gets caught but protected, soaking up so much damage, and Dion can just walk out of that, not even have to Dwarf Toss out of that.
Yeah, that's the really cool thing about Medivh in this comp. He can do a lot of delay, but he can also just protect so well against Diablo. Look at that. And I was like, peace out, man. I'm Medivh. He's like, he like considered for a second going in to try to get one more Q before leaving. He thought better of it, but that's that feel. Okay, this time Medivh's not going to be around to help DeYoung out, so this might be a pick. He just barely got his Dwarf Toss off, not interrupted there. No chat comes for the flank, but no pick. But yeah, the Medivh has really gotten a lot of shielding done in this game so far already, and because he has infinite mobility, yes, a lot of people think he's really good on big maps for that, but on small maps too, he just flies between lanes even faster, doesn't have to walk around the walls. The line of sight blockers are no problem for him, so he's just kind of floating around. Now he's going to get his Master's Touch at level 7, and we'll see if he can make it work. So far, so good, though, for NMX.
Yeah, so far, so good for Raven also, as BlossoM is holding 65 at the moment, but didn't turn in anything. And Raven is going to have the first Web Weaver stun, especially having Medivh was flying over, checking both of the things, both of the objectives in the middle.
Yeah, you know, you have a little bit of chucking you can use on BlossoM's side. You grenade, lightning rod, and things like that for them to actually deny the spiders and things like that. But when you have Medivh too, she literally spot everybody, and he gets insane cooldown reduction when he interrupts people. It's like he's made to interrupt turn-ins, and that's what he's doing here. So it's no huge shocker that Raven would get this first one. And they actually are winning this top lane in terms of turret ammo really hard. So a lot being done here in the mid lane as well. Sorry, I said top, I meant to say bottom lane. But yeah, a lot of damage already done by these Web Weavers.
Yeah, with that, they're going to have an EXP lead, of course. And it's only 8, but soon, very soon, they're going to hit 10. And Raven, there was no kills up to now, but it's more later on when there are kill starts happening. It's more about how many gems you're also holding, and you should also take into account how many gems you're holding. And you should be a little bit more safer if you're holding like 60 or 100 even.
Yeah, definitely. Or even 82 in this case. HA2 is like, yeah, that's my number. So, yeah, it's important right now that BlossoM does not get wiped. Notice that Joju has been, both in this game and on Cursed Hollow, actually doing a lot of sneaky solo camping. Rhaegar actually has such good wave clear, he can do that. It's risky if you get caught, for example. You know, he has a decent escape, especially when he has Wolf Run, but, you know, you can get punished for that because it does take a toll on your health. But when you have Feral Heart and Wolf Run, you have the escape, and then you kind of heal up and don't need to Hearth Home, so you can actually do a little bit more solo camping. Lightning Bond's not going to do that for you, obviously, so I like the way that they're playing this on terms of the Rhaegar. Leyline Seal is out now, and that can set up some crazy wombo combos with Horrify and Sulfuric Smash. No Bloodlust this time. I'm quite thankful for that, considering we have a lot of attack damage on the side of Raven.
Yeah, that's true. Not much of a DPS on Raven's side. All they're going for is actually ability damage. So yeah. I was actually wondering for a second, just for a second, Anubara coming on from BlossoM's side just to cancel out all the spell damage coming out from Raven.
It looks like they're just not comfortable with the hero yet. We've seen him a few times elsewhere, but not in Korea. He's not quite. He's
not too popular here. Yeah, not too popular here also. But when there's, of course, like double mage on that opponent's side, Anubarak is a very good pick. Does get some damage, but not as much for sure. And Diablo driving right in. DeYoung is in trouble. cleansed right off.
Okay, here's the Horrify. Unfortunately, Leyline C is going to cancel it out, and there's no follow-up. And that will be another turn-in here, as Tychus is actually hiding his heroic. I just wanted to point that out really briefly here. Thought he might take it. We are going to see the APOC attempt right now. Look at all the protection here for HA2. Earthquake used down there to try to isolate and kill DeYoung. Spiders are on him. He jumps away. The Spiders are on the chase. They do go down. Here's Judy looking for the jump in to try to get the auto. He does not get it. A beautiful Ancestral goes off here. Dudu might be the second to fall here. Actually, the third to fall with Diablo dying earlier, and it's a full team wipe.
Full team wipe, and look at those gems just on the ground. They lost all of it. I believe they didn't even turn in one single gem.
That's the problem. You literally predicted the future, G-Clef. You said if you're holding a lot of gems, you got to be careful. You can't get wiped.
Yeah, it's very like general things you can say, but still, NMX. That team fight, I think NMX was the key, just protecting his ally at the right point, especially when Diablo dived right in, or when Ragnaros was soaking some damage from Tychus. Just super well done protection right there. DeYoung
as well absorbing a lot. You know, he didn't have always the force of will on top of him, but he was having the force of Murden's got a pretty strong passive, and I'm going to run in and out of combat to make sure I get value out of that while also peeling for my allies.
Yeah, now I'm getting super excited. This can be the first game that Raven can actually win in HGC Korea.
Yeah, could be.
Already 3 levels ahead. This is very exciting. As Raven, that team fight just turned around just so much.
It really did, and honestly, I'm liking how NMX is playing. I'm really enjoying Joju's solo camping, which he might actually do again right now because that bot camp is neutral. Look at the minimap. He's going right over there. He's going to take that camp. This is sort of like macro mind of that Raven is taking right now, where they're thinking, okay, we literally, I mean literally, got all of their gems. Why don't we just paint the map red, push all the lanes? They're going to get a lot of gems, but we're going to have this pressure. We're going to clear lanes quickly. We're going to take the gems ourselves. We're going to get another turn in back-to-back here. That's the plan. That's the play. Let's make this map a shorter map. We went Fel Gul'dan. We have a lot of poke. We have the ability to knock down those keeps. Let's take an early keep. Let's get 16. Very intelligent play out of Raven. I can't fault them.
They also have a lot of sustained damage from the backline. That's where all the force of will from Medivh comes out. They don't. All they have is to pick off one, is Smash along with maybe Stonebolt from Muradin, but they. Other than that, they don't have like a burst damage like Gleaming or something else. And BlossoM, they also have a lot of sustained damage, but it's you have to be together. You can't be all like spread apart, just like the team fight that happened a few minutes ago.
Yeah, which is why I'm a little bit surprised that they're not going Sundering, because if they ever get a pick on the Gul'dan, he's not able to be saved by the Protect, all the damage to Raven is essentially gone. They have the Sulfuric, the Stormbolt, that kind of combo, but it's not a lot of damage, it's not enough. Then BlossoM just wins the sustained fight if they get that pick, and they have good auto attack in Tychus as well. The Zebo just going to bleed everybody down DOT-wise. The boss is taken here. Obviously no reason to really commentate through the steps that are happening here, but a little bit surprising we see the Earthquake, perhaps as a counter to DeYoung with how aggressively he's been playing, but either way, it has not been working. And Raven hits 16. They're looking for this keep. They have so much poke right now. Joju's at full health and full mod. He's got that Feral Heart, and it's really paying off. And this boss is going to go right onto the keep, and they're going to look for more. DeYoung dives in. He's protected immediately. Judy gets hit by that tornado, but actually will escape here. Just more protection going down onto DeYoung.
Notice how DeYoung is the only one in the front line, and actually Hamlin's very low but gets Ancestral heal at the moment, and APOC doesn't really find too many marks, and it is the first one, and Tychus and Diablo just blown up from there.
Yep, this actually could be game if they get Scarlet here, especially. The Ice Blocks to dodge the Stormbolt, but will actually just barely get out there. The DOT would have killed him, but he gets into the Hall of Storms. And Raven is going to just back off with a 4-level advantage. BlossoM does not have even half the gems required for a turn-in, and Raven has enough for a turn-in themselves. The boss and that push gained them that. Look at how quickly BlossoM respawns too, because they're so low level. Their death timers are not as long as Raven. So Raven's going to get this turn-in. They're going to probably just try to push mid. They've got so much poke.
They can push mid or bot. It's their choice. It's whatever they feel like that's happening. They can also fight for this, try to take this camp even. BlossoM has to be careful when they're checking this even. And Judy on Diablo, of course, when you're winning, Diablo seems like the better pick, but when you're losing, falling apart just like this, it's really hard for Diablo to actually go in, pick on a target, and against the Medivh. I think that's what's making the difference right now.
With the variant ban, the Meridian prioritization, and the ETC secondary ban, they got caught in this position where they kind of had to do something like this, right? So Johanna doesn't do much on this map besides her wave clear. You know, her blind isn't useful against the AP comp that you were talking about. And we see Joju is able to, not only do they steal the camp, but they use Joju to solo start this camp. They're going to secure it safely. They're up 4 levels here. And this is looking like a march to the finish line right now for Raven with all the web weaver pushing power they have right now with the top lane already opened up. Yep, this could be game.
I like the choice from No Chat taking Superstition, and against that also blocks half of the ability damage. That's why he's on the front line, having a lot of health, which is a very good, very nice choice of talent.
Yeah, he's kind of a tank in his own right.
Yeah, that's right.
He's better than a Nubrak, I guess, in that way, with the ability power blocking. So, yeah, that's actually a really good point. I'm glad you bring that up. Look at how little damage he takes from the Stormbolt and DeYoung's W here. He's just like, yeah, no, it's fine, I'm fine.
Yeah, now he can actually be in the front line along with Judy and try to get a pick off. And Judy's actually focusing, has been on DeYoung the entire time, because DeYoung is the only one in the front line. Raven, they're just poking from the back line, as BlossoM doesn't really have too many heroes that can actually dive in. I think Earthquake would be very nice. APOC does connect.
Look at all the protection here for Hamlin. He had Ancestral, the Force of Will, and he's just kind of casually sitting here doing damage on the backlines. HG2 is pretty low, and they're going to have to leave here. In fact, this is best case scenario for BlossoM. They lost neither mid or bot keeps. For how long that's going to go on, we don't know, but it's definitely a big win. They didn't lose either. We'll see if this next push is enough to do it, as Raven is not going home. They really want to push the issue here. Still a lot of ammo on the spot keep, so it's not like it's free dive here. And in fact, I think this might be a mistake to stay this long.
And Hamlin does get caught at the last moment. Joju is also very low, but protected at the last second. Wiz wanted to get a kill.
This will be, it looks like, BlossoM's first web weaver turn in. The problem is that if they do it right now, they're not going to get anything out of it. It's just going to protect their core. They have to do it regardless, I would say. It's going to help them kind of soak and catch up. They're definitely not going to get 20 first, but they're going to try to at least minimize the time where they don't have 20. Ooh, this is a nice pick.
But there's that portal. He goes to the other side. Even Molten Core is popped just to cancel all that channeling, and Medivh ends up dying at the very end.
He had 1 second away from Leyline Seal, too. He could have actually leylined his way out of that one if he had 1 more second. He didn't have it, though, and that's really unfortunate.
Raven wants to push this. They want to go all in. They even popped Molten Core on that, but losing that Medivh, I think that was one of the key. When they actually wanted to stall some more time, and DeYoung's looks like he's gonna overextend a little bit here.
He wants to go in all the way. He wants to buy time here for Medivh to respawn. Just not going to work. They're only 6 gems away from getting those web weavers. And now with the delay that Raven tried to put on them, BlossoM will actually have web weavers, outside of their main base. Like, they're going to be the bot and mid, like, not too far out there, but in the bot and top are going to be, not very far out. But in mid, they're actually kind of threatening the fort. They're looking for their first structure kill here on this mid wall.
And Hamlin is cleansed, but too much damage coming out. This is the power of No Chat at the moment, as he also has so much armor against all those ability. And look at his health now. It's not as much as Diablo's at the moment, but still gaining a lot as the time is going towards BlossoM. Now, a little bit more.
BlossoM has, in Heroes of the Storm, there are comeback mechanics. Forts and keeps are worth more EXP in the late game, so they're actually kind of trying to even up. They're only a level down now. They were 4 levels down before in the bot lane, and now 1 level down with these picks. Raven needs to be careful not to throw this away. Also, the longer this goes, the Zebo just gets tankier and tankier, as you were saying. He's got Superstition now, and this keep will go down. So BlossoM is now essentially, in terms of structures, evened up the playing field here. Yeah, and they did it all before Raven could get 20.
Yeah, losing 1 at a time was big, and especially Gul'dan is losing not all of it, but more than half of your wave clear for the 40 seconds when the other team has that wave clear push, web weaver push, I'm sorry. And BlossoM is really pressing hard. They did the right thing, and then they're also going to hit level 20 about at the same time as Raven did hit level 20 before.
This could have been an opportunity for BlossoM to hard push boss. They may still try to do a hidden push. Look at the vision right now. They can actually come up here, sneak around the vision wave, and go boss. They're going to take the Merc camp instead, it looks like, and go clear top, but could have tried to go for a risky boss. The problem with going boss is that they still have to go through a fort and then the keep. So they wouldn't get too much value, but they hit 20 now. That means Diablo has Bolt, and so does Malfurion. And obviously the upgrade for the Voodoo Ritual for Gazebo is incredibly powerful here too. Look, BlossoM scales better in the late game, especially because Gul'dan did not go Echoed Corruption. I feel like that's what makes him really strong in the late game, but he went Fel instead. And oh no, more members getting picked. This is disastrous. This was nearly a one game. It was 17-13. Raven overextended in bot, and now they're just tossing this game away. There's the pick onto Rhaegar as well. With Joju dead, BlossoM may find themselves in a winnable position now. I mean, it looks like they're ahead, in fact. They kept their bot and mid keeps alive this entire time.
All they have to do is now push. Rhaegar's dead, Gul'dan's dead. The two wave clear that Raven has are dead right now, and BlossoM, their core is only 49% with the shield, but Raven against 5 of BlossoM at the moment, I don't think it's possible to actually defend this core. Let's see how long they can stall some time.
Oh man, DeYoung is trying to do what he can. Hardened shield popped here as well. He's got the protection, but it's not enough. The core will go down. They're just going to focus it, and that will be game number 2 in favor of BlossoM. They had a massive comeback in that game. Patience, persistence. They were wiped. They had no turn-ins. They were 13-17. They lost their keep. They almost lost 2 more. They protected 2 keeps. And the greed of Raven to go for a follow-up push to try to get that keep lost them so many members that gave BlossoM the opportunity to get a turn-in, and the game kind of started to snowball back. And we saw so many unnecessary pickoffs. Raven just fell apart there in the late game. They know they had that game won. It was the closest they've ever been